Hey, boys and girls. So I promised I wouldn't have a weather report today, and I'm not going to. So this is not the weather report. This is a regular show. This is something else. So this is the epic destruction of John Maddox.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, so God, so many things. What should we get to first here? So I was on Gur streams last night. Hey, Gur, I was on your stream last night.
Gur.
And I had a nice little conversation on your stream. And then just a few minutes ago, David pointed out that as soon as I left your stream, there was a little bit said about me. And I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
Oh, and what kind of name is Gur anyway?
Yeah, what kind of name is Gur anyway? Yeah. Let's see, where the fuck is he? What is this one called? Diabolical Sensuality. I'll find him the closer. God, I love his titles. His titles are just absolutely incredible.
I think they're complete random flow of consciousness.
Yeah, so I think it starts, right here. I guess this is where what we can listen to. I guess I learned a lot from listening to this. I learned a lot about, well, we'll listen.
That Pudding Brain and the gang, they always title their episodes about what they don't actually plan on discussing in much detail.
Okay, you mean title of an episode? You mean like today's title, maybe?
I don't know why you're including me in that. I don't. If you go to my channel, the title of every video is exactly what the video is about. I don't even think Immutable makes videos.
I don't usually frequent their channel unless it's like Snata.
So Immutable doesn't hang out here unless it's Snata.
Well, I wasn't actually including you guys in the gang.
Oh, because these are the beta boys, and they're hanging out here with Alpha Wolf.
Okay, can you clarify what that collection is?
I
think he means like Speed and Scott.
Pudding Brain, it was like a David, Scott,
Peter.
And I guess Peter's part of the gang now too.
Pater. Okay. Good old Pater.
But I would say that's the core. The ones that I'm referring to when I say they're just complete idiots. And also,
did they leave out David Scott?
Yes, they did. Yes.
Well, David Scott.
Yeah.
Or David. You don't.
He's another guy. Yeah.
No, always. Yeah. David Scott is always here.
Yeah.
You know?
No disagreement.
Okay, we're rolling.
No, it's like for example, so the review of
Leo, do you agree with John? Leo, do you agree with John?
Agree with him on what?
I will agree with John on this particular matter. It's take a picture of it. It's probably the first time. And
which part of what he just said?
John, go ahead and reiterate if you don't mind.
Well, I was going to say that for case in point, and this was part of the reason I'm reviewing. I think I'm going to do the second review of them tonight. Is yesterday it was all about Otangelo, and which they hardly talked about Otangelo. And then today I was the title character, and it took them 25 minutes to get to what they were reviewing about me. And then they fulfilled exactly what I had predicted in what they were reviewing, but they hadn't actually watched. So then they were talking all this shit about things that I had predicted they were going to talk shit about and not actually know that I had talked. I like
that's hilarious.
You got to remember, John, they're boomers. All right. You got to cut them some slack.
No, it's shots fired.
John, you ought to highlight your predictions and then.
Okay, that was it. So Immutable and Leo, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I find funny about it is that we've made it very clear on the joke that was being played. And
we're gonna
that. Yeah.
There's more.
Yeah, and then also, John, he's just so stupid. It's just mind blowing to me.
Now, who's this John you're talking about? Who was that talking?
I don't know.
Yeah, So it's like they're talking about. Well, Gurr seems to get it. Gurr, you could hear him laughing, and I think he knows what.
I hope he understands what's going on, because Gurr, I hope he's a little smarter than the rest of these guys.
Definitely. Just by the way he was laughing, I think he knows the joke, because it's been talked about or whatever. But yeah, and then for John, like, he was pissed because he had to sit there and listen to us. Like, we have to run the stream the way he wants it to be. Like, if he's on the title, we got to talk about him at the beginning.
Yeah, well,
apparently within 25 minutes.
Yeah. So he's a little upset over that, which I find.
I think
he doesn't get it.
So this morning I had time to review up to 950 of this. This, what would you call it? The review of our review of his review of my review with Ben Goult. So we're doing a review of that review, and I think we're into review to the fifth power now.
Yeah.
And and that's why I decided to do what I'm doing here today. And
I'm glad I filled my oxygen tank, because we're kind of getting meta.
We're getting way the fuck meta. But let me put this up here. So there's a couple things that happened on this stream that are notable from last night. And I just want to help. I know John Maddox is listening, and I want to help you, John, understand a few things about how video and audio works, and multimedia, that sort of thing. And I think you being in tech the way you are, and you being such a brilliant programmer, I'm sure you're going to find this very stimulating, what I'm going to help you with. And you'll learn a lot today, a hell of a lot. So I'm not sure if I got the right clip here. Let's see.
Well,
she's been out a while.
Brain recognizes, I think, as a potential piece of evidence in my favor. So he wanted to interview this guy and convince.
Okay, Dr. Ben Goult reached out to me. Okay. Now, I made a comment, and what I was talking about was not about how it's in your favor. What I made a comment about is that you represented Dr. Ben Goult's work as being some way for there to be more information in the brain. And when you say that, I'm pretty damn sure I know what you mean. You mean representational information. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion that has to do with the philosophy of the mind and the neuroscience of mind. This idea of representation and information. And that's why I was talking about Dr. Ben Goult's paper. The other reason I was talking about Dr. Ben Goult's paper is because I was very excited about Talon signaling from the integrin molecules in the transmembrane, or the membrane. The integrin is a transmembrane protein on the membrane, receives a signal from outside the cell, and that signal can be mechanical, and that can affect embryogenesis. And I'm very excited about the amount of signal that you can get with just pressure alone, basically. That it's gonna activate or inactivate a whole sequence of genes, and that could be one of the sources of tissue differentiation. And then Dr. Ben Goult got a notification from NCBI, I think, and reached out to me, and that's why I talked to him. And it really didn't have a hell of a lot to do with you, John, even though you did come up, and the whole, cell as a machine did come up. And yes, I disagree very much with Dr. Ben Goult about his usage of the words machine language and, the cell as a machine and all of that. To a degree, I use the same terminology. So, but we'll get further into that. But anyway, getting back to our subject, I wanted to play this part, I
think. Putting brain, trying to tell putting brain, trying to tell this guy how he should communicate.
Oh, I guess that is it. Yeah.
Journalists and such.
Oh, here we go.
Misrepresent him.
Here's the part I want to think. John got Goult's theory wrong. But I don't know how well you explained that. But anyway.
So, folks, not only did he deny actually having listened to the commentary portion, he said that I'm the one that got it wrong. When you'll hear throughout, if you actually go watch the full review, there's tons of them. There's a few that I'll play here. That where this guy was more agreeing with my positions, not with Speed's. So, which one of us is
Dannikins, real quick,
doing things? And
can you check your speed on the video? I think it's at 0.7 or 0.5 or something.
Normal. that's him. Normal.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Right.
do you think he talks a little slow, Scott?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You don't think
Seemed
that,
like
do
it
you?
seemed like a little slow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was kind of mentioned in along here somewhere too. I don't know if you guys realize that part.
I'll kick him up. I'll kick him up to 125. So I think he gets to it here, but
I think just for fun, folks, let's now just jump straight to another claim. I think this is the one. This is the right one here. Let me check.
no, this isn't what I wanted to
claim not to have listened to the stream. Let's see.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't listen to the stream, John, until yesterday.
Let's see here. Where is the one with putting? There it is. Okay.
This is 125.
Now let us observe Pudding Brain in the side chat while I'm in the middle of commentary.
Probably, I don't know, a few executions in each cell. There's a lot. It's and like a machine, all of the computation we do.
Okay, so he's pointing out that I was in the side chat on this stream, right? And then later I said I didn't listen to the stream. Well, John, let me try to set this up for you. I got two 55-inch monitors on one side of my room. I have a 65-inch television playing Netflix. When I'm watching a stream, what I look for show content is who is in the stream. So I blow it up on a 55-inch monitor across the room, and I keep an eye on who you have in your room. I keep an eye on if Immutable comes in or, somebody I care about. Obviously, you're in there, and I don't care about you. So I have the fucking thing on mute, idiot. And then I go over and I comment in chat, and I take it off mute for about a minute to see if you comment on my comment. And then I wait around to see if anybody comments on my comment in chat. And then I hit the fucking mute button again, and then I go and watch television or get on with my life or read a paper or do something other than listen to your fucking stream. And last night, I did the same thing. This morning, I listened to your stream up to a little before where we are right now in your stream. Then I went over and watched Money Heist some more, and I came over and I noticed that Rebecca was in your stream. And so I came over and made a comment, and then Joel hopped in. And so, yeah, John, I'm not listening to your stream just because I'm chatting in your stream. I'm sure not everybody out there in my chat is listening to us right now. And anyway, there it is, ladies.
I'm not even listening to you, Speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, fuck you.
And it's actually called
moron.
it's actually called multitasking. Yeah, people tend to do that, especially in this stuff.
And he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
Yeah. He doesn't get a lot of things, Speed. So this is really going to be difficult. We keep doing these back and forth, and it's going to be really difficult.
I know.
For you to get through to him. Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
I mean, I sped him up to 1.25, and he's still too fucking slow.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever he's talking, if I'm trying to find something or whatever, sometimes I help you out, and because some of these streams are long, sometimes I'll go and listen to it. So if we find something interesting for content, then I do, and I put him on double. And he actually mentions that because I said that out loud, that he heard me say that, you talk so goddamn slow. Everybody says it. Everybody, Peter, makes fun of him by talking like him. And, so whenever I listen to him and he's talking, I put him on double, and I can clearly understand him without a problem on double speed. Now, number two, the highest speed you can go. And I can understand him. So that's the other part that he didn't understand. When I said that yesterday, that you talk so goddamn slow and what you say doesn't actually make sense,
Right. I mean, there's no content. It's a code. It's a code. It's programming language. It's a code. It's programming language. It's a machine. Yeah, I talk that way too. All biologists do. Jesus Christ. Get over it. Oh, yeah. What was it? Oh, that part you gave me at 58. Let's listen to that because I guess that's kind of important, right? So we'll listen to that.
Reaction.
Yep.
There's nothing predetermined about it at all. Nothing to account for. People like myself are just crazy, God of the gaps, faith-based. Only don't actually know anything, don't research anything, and nobody actually agrees with the position you're putting forth in terms of what must be accounted for. Again, caveat for the idiots who will probably review this at some point. I am not stating that the scientists are claiming and agreeing with me that there must be an intelligent agent. I am only stating that these are things that must be addressed. You have to account for them. You can't act like they don't actually exist.
Okay, when have we ever claimed that the scientists agreed with him? I mean, the guy doesn't understand how English works. I swear. Jesus Christ. What I said is that he cherry picks what scientists say and then basically represents that as proof for his fucking ID and for his God. That's what I said. I never said I never accused him of believing that the scientists agree with him. We all know the scientists don't agree with him. None of them do, John. Not one of them in the Royal Society or any of the papers you've ever mentioned have ever agreed with you, ever. It's like, Jesus Christ, John. Fucking try to get... I mean, that's nuanced, right? But I've never claimed that he said or that he claimed that the scientist agrees with him. I'm saying that he thinks the science agrees with him just because it's a code or machine. And also, they keep bringing up Darwin. I saw Darwin on the screen not Darwin, Dawkins on the screen. Who gives a fuck about what Richard Dawkins said? And they keep showing that over and over again. I don't know if I saw it on Praise's stream or John's stream, but they keep bringing up this.
You're talking about when he was like appearing on
John Perry
with John Cleary. Yeah.
That
was a good conversation, but it's part of the bigger picture and bigger conversation.
Right. And I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Anyway,
So truly, Speed. I mean, you have to realize, John is just so desperate to be important and be recognized. Right? He desperately wants you to recognize him here, like clearly. So just keep that. Yeah.
Well, here's the deal, guys. No, this is not some epic takedown of John. I put the thumbnail up just to fucking prank him again. And I'm gonna quit doing it again and again.
Yeah,
and we've done it with Otangelo. And I'm gonna quit doing it to you guys because I think you guys think that I'm gonna have some content about John when I do that or Otangelo, and I don't. And we don't on purpose. We fucking plan it backstage. We talk about it, right?
We actually,
it was really fun. It was really fun to hear him say that we didn't talk about him until 25 minutes.
Yeah, gee, it was 25 minutes before they even talked about.
That's like.
So
when are you gonna get it, John?
When I hear that,
you're not, John. You're not that important.
You're not that important.
You're just a dipshit on the internet. That's what you are to us. So just so you know.
Okay. Speaking of, let's see. Okay, so I don't know how this is going to go. Yeah, I like Rebecca, but
so Pudding Brain is in the side chat. So Joel wants to talk to you, so you can come.
LPP noticed that I was in the side chat, so he must think I was listening. Actually, I was at that point. I turned the sound on.
Come on in. You guys can converse. I won't even interject if you want to come on and have a conversation.
Yeah, that was what I was saying earlier, Mike. You and I have real briefly tried to talk about when I was first getting introduced to all this nonsense on YouTube a year ago on your channel, I thought. And you've acknowledged, at least it seems, that yes, it's a code. You just don't want to attribute it to God, right?
Yes.
And if that's changed, that's what I wanted to kind of
You got it right.
You and I real briefly, real surface, on the topic of AI and stuff like that. And I don't know, you mentioned that you've done a lot of back-end type work, but I don't know a lot of your experience, but how I want to, I guess, if there is reason to think that DNA is not a code, that seems, I guess, trying to be nicer than John, as he said, that seems insane to me. I want to hear.
Okay, the thing is, saying it's not a code, okay? People will say that because they're trying to make a point about how it actually works, that it actually is a molecule, that there actually is a tRNA that locks onto a shape of a molecule that, you know, occupies 3 nucleotides. And that tRNA is loaded with a particular amino acid by another amino acyl RNA synthetase. What is it? AARS. That something else loads it on there. So there are other genes involved in selecting how that code is going to be interpreted, right? But they're all molecules. The enzymes that do that are molecules. The tRNA is a molecule. The mRNA is a molecule. The ribosome is a molecule. It's all fucking chemistry. And a lot of scientists will try to emphasize that. So they will push back on the idea that it's a code because they don't want people to think that it's some sort of a written instruction for the cell. That's not what it is. That's not how it works. It's not a fucking blueprint. It's a really complicated interaction of shapes of molecules and properties of molecules, that sort of thing. So you'll find scientists that will emphasize that, and you'll find other scientists that'll say, no, it's a damn code. It's a damn code. It depends on what you want to emphasize, and that's how we use language. When we use analogous language from our human experience, from how we do things, and we try to apply that to biology, we frequently use the language metaphorically and analogically to make a certain point, right? And so people will fight over this. You know, they'll have fucking arguments over this shit. It is a code, it isn't a code. And I'm just right smack dab on both sides. When it pays to talk about it as a code, I will. When it doesn't, I won't. You know, I just want people to understand the reality of biology is far more complex, dynamic, stochastic, statistical than this code talk sometimes infers. That's what I would like people to acknowledge. So anyway, Mr. J is jealous of me talking. Oh, I think Mr. J has talked to Joel a few times. Anyway, we'll go on here.
Hear about his what seemed like he was trying to tell his interview his guest how to talk about the subject he specializes in. I thought that was kind of...
Yeah, I was, because, you know, because I had just done a talk earlier with Dr. Nicholson. I think I posted those things out of order. Pretty sure I did. So I'd already come from this idea the cell is not a machine. Let's stop using this language. Let's talk differently. And I was trying to explain to Dr. Ben Goult what a young Earth creationist was and what a problem they've become for us in America, in our education system. So yes, I was trying to steer Dr. Goult, and unsuccessfully. He pushed back on me, you know, heavily. And we are going to have future conversations about that topic. So anyway.
I don't know. I'd like to hear how he would defend that accusation.
I don't defend it.
It just seemed like he was trying to tell the professional how he must.
Yep, I was.
You know, describe the thing he's talking about. There he is.
There he is.
Hey, there he is.
Oh man.
Okay. See, let's see what else. What the hell? Spellers, written spreadsheets, word assembly first, and then C. I think today. My resume is about 3 inches high. Anyway, so yeah, DNA is a code. Well, part of it is.
Okay.
There are codons.
Is it?
But what does that mean?
Well, is it organized codons? Maybe it's
there is a pattern in a chemical, in a molecule, right, that controls how the molecule works. And that's all I see there. I don't see anything about intelligent design.
Yeah, it'd be similar to like a NAND or some other type of hardware-based.
Oh, what the hell?
Software, right?
A NAND? I don't know about an AND.
But it's a code, right?
I think you're talking, and I'm not. My cat. No, now I can. So what was that? Wow.
Well, Jungle's asking I think Jungle's trying to reconfirm that, and he said yes, it is a code, and then I was just trying to kind of reaffirm is it similar to like NAND flash-based type technology where it's a physical embedded code?
No, kind of. You can call it a physical embedded code, but it wouldn't be like it. Like
code, you're saying?
Not totally. No.
So
It's just.
intent.
What was that?
So there's
Jungle?
intent with the code, right? Intent. There's intent with the code, right?
No, that's what you guys mean when you say a literal code. You see the intent. Okay, I don't see the intent. Okay, if you go out and look.
So you see less intent. How do you see less intent with the way an organism expresses itself than a machine or a computer program?
Okay, so Rebecca asked, I guess that kind of shows how they think. But okay, if there's intent to communicate something, that means that somebody, some intelligent agent, wrote down a code, knowing full well that the person that he was communicating with had the key to that code and could decipher it. Like, for instance, I'm speaking in a code called English language right now, and I'm assuming that you guys have the key to that code. You know English, and you could decipher what I'm saying. So I intend to talk to you, to convey information to you, okay? But if we've just found some sort of a pattern in molecules, we cannot imply intent from that. We don't know that somebody wrote it down. That's the whole disconnect here. And for them, they see the both things as one. They see if something is a code, and that's why you shouldn't call it a code, because lay people somehow think that if you call it a code, that means there was a coder. No, that isn't what it means. Am I getting David?
Yep.
Scott?
Yes. Absolutely.
Am I getting
through?
Well, let me see if I can help a little bit. You know, we obviously all know all of these guys in this room, every one of them, I think, from what I can see, they're all young Earths. So, and we all know that young Earths are completely, you just can't rationalize with them. They are just so desperate or so, intent on validating their God that they go to that great length to basically deny all science, pretty much, to call the Earth, 6,000 years old and whatever. So that's what we're all dealing with, and we all know this. So it's just like near impossible to even, if you talk to an older, at least you can talk, right? You can reason with them a little better and have a better conversation. But these guys are just so difficult, the young Earthers, that it's just tough.
Let's play this again by Rebecca. Okay, I don't see the intent. Okay, if you go out and look.
So you see less intent. How do you see less intent with the way an organism expresses itself than a machine or a computer program?
Okay, so you see, she thinks that if you have a code, then there has to be intent. So it's built into the way she thinks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so and that comes, that's what I mean by them not looking at the same evidence, because they haven't looked at all the papers that talk about how that code came to be. Okay. Right. And now one thing that John mentioned in the last clip we did from John, he said these are the things that must be accounted for, how the code came to be. Yes, John, there's a ton of work being done on that. That's what they're doing. We don't just blow by this shit and say, oh, we don't have to account for it. We are trying to account for it. The problem is we can never get to that conversation because you guys keep us on this other conversation, right? Defending every aspect of evolution, defending geology, just, the usual fucking spiel. So we never get to the part where we can show you the papers where they're starting to say, like I was reading a paper recently where they were talking about that there were 4 nucleotides used in the original codons. That's one theory, right? And they're showing with statistics that it looks like there were 4, and later on, somewhere like 4 billion years ago, or 3.5 billion years ago, that it pared down to 3, and they can see the remnants of that 4 code in the 3 code. And that it's an interesting paper, which I didn't have time to finish entirely. But we never get to that conversation because you guys keep assuming that if there's a code, there has to be a fucking coder, and that's just not the case. you're making an inference that you cannot back up. And that's why we shouldn't, God, if we're going to use the word code, we have to use it according to the new definition that we're using it for, right? We've modified the definition to say that it is some sequence of molecules that represents an amino acid. That's it. We're not saying that it's a code that somebody wrote. We didn't say that. Nobody believes that. Well, you guys do, but we don't. So anyway, let's see where this goes.
Yep.
Okay, could you ask that again? I got a cat problem.
Well, like you
I saw Rebecca's cat earlier too.
Like you're saying there's no intent there.
Right.
But when you see a computer code, you know that someone programmed it, right?
Yeah.
So
because I'm a computer programmer and I program. Like if I saw a table, like a dining room table, and I were a carpenter, or even without being a carpenter, you know that there was a carpenter that built it, right? And when I see computer code, I know that somebody wrote that code. I know that somebody designed that computer language. I don't see what the hell the problem is here. When I see DNA, I don't know that there was a coder. I have never seen anybody write anything to communicate with me with a pencil or with tweezers in DNA. Have you? Have any of you gotten a message that was written in DNA?
No, never.
Never have either.
Pour DNA into the processor so that it would take my code.
Did you ever walk in on a toddler and the toddler was down there with tweezers aligning DNA and making a drawing with DNA or trying to communicate with you? No.
You know, yesterday I started with this analogy, and somebody that was in there comes in sometimes. He talks with an accent. Oh, Peter interrupted me, and I never got back to it. But in Foundation, in that Foundation series on Apple Plus, they have this thing called the Vault, and you look out on this alien terrain. It's just rocks and desert and wind, and it's all sculpted by nature, and you see this what kind of looks like a tetrahedron or something like that, just kind of floating above a hill, and you look and you get a little closer and you see it's made of this strange material. And what are you going to conclude? Are you going to conclude that this is alien? There might be some intelligence behind it because it's so incongruous with its surroundings. That doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't somehow make itself, in terms of natural processes, but you sure don't see how. But you do see more reasons to believe that life evolved.
Yeah.
Have you read Jerry Cohen's Why Evolution is True or Richard Dawkins' Greatest Show on Earth? It really gives a lot of reasons to assume that this naturalistic landscape that we're on, evolution is congruous with what we see.
What? Daniel Bennett doesn't want to engage with Ann. Okay, Daniel, you want to come here and you want to blabber shit like about our ignorance? What did you say up here? The willful ignorance.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to point that out as soon as Scott was done.
So I mean,
he's triggered big time. Yeah. Sorry.
So you want to blabber and you want to come on the chat every day and call us ignorant, but you don't want to come in and talk about it. Is that the case? And now you don't even want to have chat with Andrew? Oh my goodness. What the hell is wrong with you? Anyway,
we have Gutsick Gibbon and we have Andrew in the side chat and several others who are just very nice people, and he's even afraid to engage with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And Andrew's got to be the most respectful person that engages in this entire community, pretty much. Like, right? I mean, you'd have a hard time showing me different.
His patience is wearing thin. But
I don't think that Ox is a PhD or master's level in biology or anything, but he sure gave us a good example of a message in DNA.
A red room, yeah. I've seen that. Yep, and Gussie Gibbon had a good comment, and Mr. J had a good comment right there.
Yeah, Mr. J. Yeah, I mean, if you can demonstrate, Andrew, Daniel, your God, then it would be a hell of a lot easier to say, okay, he might have wrote that code, but can't demonstrate it, so it makes it a little difficult.
Oh, let's see. So what was the question? Where did he ask? Daniel Bennett said something here that was worthwhile. Why would chance assign a trinucleotide sequence to an amino acid? It wouldn't. Chance doesn't do that. Chance did not create life. Basically, life is the diversity of life is not due to random chance, as you guys like to think. But that takes some unpacking. But like I say, we never get to the real conversation because we got to keep having this fucking conversation. You know.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how close was my vault analogy?
Your vault analogy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I need to quit using it.
Do you want to run it by again?
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, never mind. Obviously, it's not taking, and you have to know when to quit using a freaking analogy.
Okay, no, Scott. I might have been watching chat while you were giving me the vault analogy. Okay, I may have missed it.
Don't worry about it. Analogies are very difficult, Scott. But you know who's really bad at them is Mad Ducks. When he starts doing stuff like that, you just sit there and listen to him and like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, he's really bad at it. Really bad.
Oh well, I'll go back to the drawing board.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah. So I just got a new package of links from Amazon, and I will be putting links out in the chat shortly. So I just bought some more. I ran out for a little while. I'm sorry.
I love it the way Amazon Prime comes through.
Oh yeah, we're gonna listen. You can order anything there, even links for StreamYard. So, okay.
And don't you not see the same?
I bet that would go over John's head too, right?
What links for?
It would, yeah. It would, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I got to quit being as dry as I am. You know, as far as humor goes.
Hey, don't go changing to try and please Ox, or I'm sorry, Mad Ox. Sorry, Ox.
Sorry, Ox.
I'm going to pay for that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's listen.
Intent when you see the result of what the DNA code produces.
Because it isn't computer code. A computer code is very precise, very, very well defined and designed. Okay, but the DNA produces life is, kind of the standard model of evolution, right? It's much more complicated than that. It's much more involved than just DNA. But anyway, she must understand that when DNA does that, when there's DNA in a zygote in a single cell, a fertilized cell, and it becomes a human being, none of them believe that God intervened there. And it does all of that with just chemistry. There is no intelligence involved. There's no tweaking at all. And I keep trying to emphasize that, and they don't seem to quite get that point. But I mean, that's miraculous in itself, that you can take one cell and have it turn into this goddamn cat that's laying on my keyboard again. What are you doing, Thor? Stop it. Okay, fine. Okay. But to get a computer to work, which is interesting, we were talking about that with Ben Goult. Computers aren't as digital as you think they are. They're like
you're not well defined.
Well, there's a difference between you and the code. So I think he's talking about the code and not the results of it. And also the DNA code is developed by a natural process, which we understand over time. Computer code isn't developed by a natural process.
Yeah, that natural process that we have to take by faith. So that's a conversation you and I could have, Mike. Is we're both old school coders, right? You as anybody else would know is that our human code is not precise, buddy.
Yeah, and so anyway, Joel starts talking about how bad some programmers' code is, and how in a project when you have 50 programmers that come and go, eventually the code starts to get pretty imprecise. But my point was that The machine language and the computer languages that we develop are extremely precise. They can't error one bit. Not even one bit of information can change without crashing the program. And that is the way life works at all. Your cells are constantly mutating. You're constantly getting a short supply of this, a big supply of that, and it self-corrects. Computer code does not self-correct. It's very precise, computer code is. DNA, cells, proteins, enzymes are not precise. That's why they're not a machine, not like a bunch of gears. So anyway, I'm done with this shit. I just wanted to go one more point here, or one more. Let's see what happened here. How long were we talking? Oh, okay. Here we go. So, okay, what are those little bulldogs? Those little shitty little bulldogs?
Boston Terriers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you took a little bulldog and you crossed it with a parrot and crossed that with a mosquito, I think you'd end up with Anthony Maurice.
I know right where you're going. Yeah.
Just from 1 to a 0, my computer's going to crash.
And DNA is the same exact thing, which is so remarkable, Mike. We've got, not only does our computer software base have hardware and software error correction in our memory and such like that, in the CPU, there's all kinds of error correction instructions. DNA, line one register transposon,
not
that
so
is a
much.
literal biological designed error correction methodology in DNA. Our
Right.
DNA does the same exact things that our human software does, and then some. We're trying to literally reverse it.
I'm trying to think about his error correcting code. I don't think so. I don't know. We have customer quality control or whatever, the customer service people at what the hell are they called? What are they called? The guys that test the code, right? They test the code.
QA people.
Yeah, QA. There we go. Yeah, quality assurance. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But I don't know about self-correcting code in computers. I've never heard of that one. There is a little bit in disk drives these days.
Well, they do unit tests.
Yeah, in disk drives, they have the CRC code that can tell you whether or not there was an error, and then it'll go out now and it'll read it. Like they have, they write it multiple times in multiple places. So if a CRC code on one segment goes bad, they'll pull up another one. I think the new technology works that way, but anyway, yeah. So I guess he's correct there. So, but anyway,
Engineer, how God does exactly what you just said from his software design stuff into our own. So that's why Apple.
That project took 4 billion years to develop.
That's a mythological claim. I don't
time is the speed.
You have to
Time is the enemy.
real-time observations. I don't know what Apple doing years ago.
I gotta go. It's funny.
The DNA that we see today is more advanced.
You know what,
than
Speed?
today.
You know what, Speed? You still didn't reply. You still didn't reply to my last message, and you're still a dumbass as usual.
Well, let's be nice, dude. I can't have faith for 4 billion years. All I can
Rebecca,
see is
we'll be talking,
DNA,
Rebecca.
Design and DNA.
What's that?
That was it. So they send in the bulldog parrot.
Yeah.
Hey,
Listen to both of them. You got Joel just going on and on and on, and then you got another shit for brains
that buzzes around your ears.
Yeah.
I wanted to. So this guy, I don't know who he's talking about. Some doctor. Let's see, Joel Duff. Does anybody know who Joel Duff is? I think he's an old Earth creationist.
Never heard of Joel Duff.
And
I
he
might have
apparently,
heard that name. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, this is Dorkoff. I don't know if anybody knows Dorkoff. He's got a channel.
Yeah,
he got 39 views. But anyway, I wanted to just play a few clips by Dorkoff. Oh shit! I'm sorry. You know what I got to do?
From the University of Tennessee.
Do you know what I got to do? Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does he do?
He's professor of biology at the University of Akron. He earned his BS in biology from Calvin College and a PhD in botany from the University of Tennessee. He's part of BioLogos. He's like
okay, yeah.
He's associated with him. He's on their website.
Yeah, Dorkoff is really pissed off at him. So this entire video is about Dork. But I just found these clips amusing.
It is not the truth they are trying to establish; it's their own foregone conclusions that are being upheld. Oh, really? Dr. Duff, This is what we're trying to uphold. This is my authority. This is the authority.
That's why
For
you're
you,
a dweeb.
it's not the authority. That's the problem.
That's why he's a dweeb.
That's the problem.
It goes on.
And his style.
And this is part of the reason why I have such a problem with the young Earth evolutionists.
I want to point out that when he does a video, he buttons his shirt all the way to the top, cutting off the circulation to his brain. And apparently it kind of looks like he painted his hair on top. I don't know what. He shaves his head and buttons his shirt all the way to the top before he does a video. Is that normal behavior? I noticed.
No, I would definitely.
I noticed James Tour does it too, and like I read a whole article about when you button that top button, it actually cuts off like 20% of the blood to your brain, and then they believe that thousands of Americans are killed in car accidents because you spend all day with a tie on, with the circulation to your brain shut off, and then you get in your car and you drive home, and you kill somebody.
Yeah.
But anyway, but okay, there's more.
They don't hold to the authority of this book as much as I wish they would.
There's still more.
They hold to it more than you. Not that that's hard. In the natural world.
Oh shit!
And
I'm
force
sorry.
fitting
I'm
those
sorry.
down. Need to be born again.
Oh, wait a minute.
Do you think it is not the truth they are trying to establish? Is their own foregone conclusions that are being?
I just wanted to point out that every now and then his eyes glow red,
I
like
saw
Satan.
that. His eyes just kind of do that thing.
Like Satan.
Not the most photogenic dude. He's like Richard Nixon against Kennedy, you know?
Yeah.
As I wish they would. They hold to it more than you. Not that that's hard. But this is the authority. This is what I'm trying to uphold.
Yeah.
I don't come to a preconceived conclusion about creation. I read the texts of Scripture. I read what God wrote in His Word, and that is what I believe.
I don't know.
Now, if you don't think that's true, Dr. Duff, then you're not a Christian, and you need to be born again. If you do think it's true, you can't accept evolution.
Wow.
Holy shit, Speed. How do you listen to this? How do you listen to this? He is a crackpot, this guy. Wow.
There's nothing but religious
we ain't done.
dedication to the truth of the Bible.
Yeah.
Keeps you from
You need to be born again.
evolution.
If you do think it's true, you can't accept evolution.
Oh,
You need to be born again. If you do think it's true, you can't accept evolution. And they care more about the opinion of this world than they do what the Scripture actually says. Because what I care about is the approval of the one who wrote this book. This is what I care about.
Praise
And I don't care who that offends. That includes you, Dr. Duff. I don't care who that offends. You don't want me telling the truth because these people are going to push people into the theistic evolution camp? Fine. Fine. I don't care. I would urge the young Earth evolutionists to recognize that you are being the useful idiots for the theistic evolutionists and the atheists. And
Anyway, I worry that this dude is walking around out there somewhere.
Yeah, a little unhinged.
A little wound up, a little tight.
Yeah,
A little tight.
Talk about married to the Bible. Holy mackerel, huh?
Yeah, and he's supposed to be getting a fucking master's in biology. But he keeps holding it. This is you remember that clip of a few weeks ago where that I get my information about evolution from the Bible.
Yeah.
It's my first source of information. If it doesn't matter. And okay, so they keep referring to this passage in the New Testament that where Jesus said something about Adam and Eve. Do you know which one that is?
It's where he's talking about divorce, and a man shall leave his parents and cleave to his wife and blah, blah. and what God has joined together, let no man put asunder.
Okay, yeah, but then he says something about Adam and Eve being created.
Well, it's assuming, that we're talking about Adam and Eve originally.
Oh, but they use that one passage to mean that if you don't accept Genesis, then you're not a Christian. That's what they keep saying. Yeah.
Assume that Jesus took it literally.
Yeah,
and Jesus took it literally in a time where everything was taken literally, which isn't really true. Then obviously we have to take it literally.
And the other thing that he does in this video again, and he does it in every video, comes out against gay people, transgender. He comes out against what he calls the woke pastors, and he's screaming. And this entire video is about him criticizing other Christians that that don't accept.
Out there, he reminds me of that big sludgy tar creature that killed Tasha Yar in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Just oozing hate and disdain and toxicity. It's just kind of sad.
He would fit right in good with what's the name of that church there, Westboro Baptist Church there.
No, they eat his pansy ass up. They chew him up. Spit him out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Probably.
Oh, yeah. He'd be passed around like a peace pipe and kicked out.
You think that? Yeah, maybe you're right, Jay.
Westboro Baptist Church is just a biker gang with God.
yeah, I guess.
Anyway. That is Emery Moyna Gerstreams in his image. I guess I have to link the video so you guys can take a look at it. But yeah, you got to review his stuff because he's constantly coming out against critical race theory and anything and liberals, and he's claiming that liberals in the church are ruining Christianity, and liberals in the church are what's causing atheism.
Oh, we got to get him and Jill together. You'll create a freaking singularity of just pure, absolute right-wing rage.
There you go, Jay. That's your mission. I'm sure he'll come onto your channel.
My grandpa had a Chihuahua that hated everybody except my grandpa. And so if I would come in within 6 feet of my grandpa, it would just growl and show its teeth and just get really. That's the energy that Emery puts off.
Yep,
that's pure crack right there, baby.
Yeah.
Of course. Well,
let's see.
Never mind. He probably does blow, not crack.
Anyway, I'm done. I'm so done.
Put the link out there.
Did you guys see what I wrote about Daniel Bennett? My speculation is that Daniel Bennett is just Danny trolling the chat as a theist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's speculation on my part, but
he was triggered big time today for sure.
Okay, who is screening Phil Tibet's Mad God stop motion movie this week? Robert, you are, or if you are, give me a link. You got a rent, right? Yeah, you got a rent. Anyway, let's see. I'm trying to get my shit together here for chat. Let's see. We got Diabolical, Sensuality. Gerstreams were Immutable, and Leo were having fun with John.
Sucking up the LPP.
Yeah, sucking his dick. Yeah. He's our alpha wolf. You can see that. I'm pretty amazed. I'm really happy that you brought me that. Really made my day there, David.
You're welcome.
I missed something.
What?
Yeah,
I missed something.
Jay probably missed that. Yeah, Jay came in a little late. I think he missed that part.
Yeah,
you missed that part. Yeah, we just went over a little part where Immutable and Leo were being a little critical with John. I just thought it was
they were being charitable, friendly.
No, they were kind of bad mouthing us. Basically a channel or us or whatever. Yeah,
yucking it up
a little bit. Yucking it up to John.
And the shitty thing about it, Jay, is that it was like 1 second after I left, that they started talking about me. And I went on there, and I don't know what we were talking about, but it was nothing serious, just guys chatting. And, it had a few, friendly words with John. And then as soon as I leave, it's, pudding brain. When he puts out a picture for a video, he never talks about me. he is really on this thing. Like today, you saw my thumbnail today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's obvious that my thumbnail has nothing to do with what I was going to do, right? I mean, that's the joke. Okay, that's the inside joke. And John doesn't get that joke. He's going to wait until the end of the stream to see how many times we talk. And here we are talking about him. We probably shouldn't, but anyway. Yeah.
Let's talk about Joel. Let's talk about the guy that banned me from the Reformation server for freedom of expression.
He did?
Yeah. Some guy was on there. This was a couple weeks ago, and I was on Discord and I was on the Reformation server chat, and I was chatting with somebody. I can't remember the username of the person I was chatting with, but it wasn't Joel. But earlier that week, I was in there, and Joel was talking about, I had said something, and Joel goes, "Well, it's called freedom of expression," and blah 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 blah. I said, "Oh, okay, so everything's on the table then." And Joel was talking about something about his daughter, claiming that his daughter got the COVID vaccine and had a really bad reaction to it.
Oh my God.
And so he said, "Yeah, you can find out from the CDC." And then I asked him, I said, "Well, what did the doctors say? What were their findings, or her doctor or doctors?" And he said, "Well, I'm not going to give you that information because, then you'll have her name and you can use that." I'm like, I don't need to know your daughter's name to know what the doctors talked about just in general.
Right.
If you want to give that information. I mean, you are making a claim about a medical status, some kind of medical condition that she already faced. But anyway, he goes, "Yeah, look it up on CDC." So I found the statistic from CDC talking about how rare allergic reactions to the vaccine are. I said, "Yeah, it seems very small." And this other guy comes in and he goes, "Yeah, like your penis." So then I responded with, "That's not what your mother said." And so we went back and forth, and next thing I know, I got kicked. And then I wrote to some other moderator, and I said, "Yeah, I just got." Well, he asked me. He said he DM'd me. "Did Joel just kick you? Did he just ban you?" And I said, "Yeah, apparently he doesn't like that kind of freedom of expression."
Yeah. And they didn't kick the other guy that mentioned.
Oh, of course not. No, I said, so it's perfectly fine for this guy to imply that I have a small penis based on a statement that I made about the percentage of bad interactions from getting a SARS-CoV-2 vaccine. And he took that right to, "You got a small dick." That's not what your mother said. And then he just kind of kept going, and I just kind of kept having fun with it. And
so he draws a line at you and your mom joke, right?
Yeah. And I didn't get so bad. I was telling my brother about this, and my brother goes, "Yeah, he should have told him. Yeah, your dad can attest to it too, because, well, he wanted me to demonstrate." The guy said, "Well, can you demonstrate that?" I didn't think of it at the time, but my brother did. He goes, "Yeah, your father was pushing."
Anyway. Oh, let's see.
It was a lot of fun until Baby didn't get put in a corner. Baby got thrown out with the bathwater.
So Robert C., are you familiar with this movie that Robert C.'s talking about, Mad God or something? Is it called Mad God? Wow. What the hell is this? Stories in the Old Testament look meek and mild. What is this one? What is this about? Okay, Phil Tibbetts, Mad God.
We're talking about a movie?
Yeah, we are. Let's look it up. I'm going to use the Google.
Don't use Google. You got to use Bing. It's the only thing the apologists will go for.
Bing.
2021.
Don't appeal to Google. I'm
going to go to Yahoo. College. I'm going to go to Yahoo and look it up. You remember Yahoo? Yahoo. There's still some people that have Yahoo emails. I can't fucking believe that, but it's true. It's amazing.
Well, none of the actors have actual photographs in IMDb. I don't know if that means they're just voiceover actors, or I don't know if this is a movie or what. Oh, it's an animation. Okay.
Yeah, didn't you say it was stop motion?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it is kind of.
Yeah, is that the claymation kind of stuff? Or
Yeah,
what?
stop motion like claymation.
Yeah.
And if it's really good, it can be something like, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's stop motion, believe it or not.
Yeah. Has that guy? Who the hell is that? Nightmare Before Christmas. Who did that?
Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton.
Has,
Same guy did
has
Batman.
has he done anything lately? Tim Burton.
Not in a little bit.
Because he's one of my favorites. I think he should be locked up along with Quentin Tarantino, but
you know what he did before he was a director?
No.
He was an animator for Disney.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He got kicked out. The rumor is that he got kicked out of Disney for his ideas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Edward Scissorhands was an idea that I think he had. Well, no, actually, it wasn't Edward Scissorhands. I think it was Nightmare Before Christmas was an idea that he had posed when he was working at Disney, but they were like, hell no. And then it was something that I think that was something he came up with when he was at Disney.
Yeah. Yeah, I like his stuff.
Him and the actress. I think him and the actress Helena Bonham Carter are still a thing. I think they're still partners or married.
Yeah.
I always liked her.
Yeah, I gotta check him on IMDb to see what he's doing these days.
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter is an excellent actress. She just does a really great range of roles. She was in both. What's that one about the hair stylist with Johnny Depp? It was a musical.
I just had the name and I just blanked on it.
Me too. She was also on that and Fight Club. She did a spy show with what was the Bill Nighy. So yeah, it's all she's got a wide range.
She's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, she's worked on quite a bit of. Yeah, she's been in Shakespeare movies with Brana and all sorts of stuff. So yeah.
Cool. I don't know what else, guys.
In fact, she was. Yeah, I think she was in the Murder on the Orient Express, which that's not Shakespeare, but it's based on. It's Kenneth Branagh and it's Agatha Christie. So
might as well be Shakespeare.
Yep.
Yeah, except she liked her two favorite poisons are arsenic and nicotine. It's kind of funny.
Oh, Sweeney Todd. Thank you, Willie Ignorant.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd. That's a weird freaking movie.
That was Willie Ignorant for the save.
A little afraid of that one.
And then there's there's Sleepy Hollow, which I probably one of my favorites is Sleepy Hollow that he did. And the interesting thing about the movie Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp is it was written by the same guy that wrote Seven.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, Seven was nightmarish.
That's one of my favorite movies. That and Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. So Silence of the Lambs was the only movie that I really didn't run out and share with my kids when they were growing up, like when they were like 9, 10.
Oh, come on.
I'd let them watch anything, but Silence of the Lambs, for some reason, creeped me out. I didn't want them to watch it. But they found it about 6 months later themselves, so they went ahead and watched it. But yeah, I don't know why, but it's the only movie I ever wanted to censor for my kids.
Oh, well, I mean, stuff like when he says, cut off a man's leg and he can still feel it tickle. Tell me, Mom, when your daughter's on the slab, where will it tickle you? That's, yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just the overall creepiness of it. I guess I just didn't want them to know
that
to do
stare.
it.
It's just that stare
Well,
that he was able to do.
Yeah, and the interesting, I think, Mads Mikkelsen, who was in the show Hannibal, I think he's actually a better Hannibal Lecter than.
Oh, he was.
That's the thing. I've not read the novel, so I don't really know how it was characterized in the novel.
So they canceled that series, right? Hannibal?
Oh yeah.
No, they didn't cancel it. They wrapped it up.
They wrapped it.
Yeah, I think they were planning on doing maybe some movies from it, but they never did.
Oh, Mads Mikkelsen is just fucking stunning. He's just amazing. I don't know.
I actually did that. That was was inspiration for the first time I had a conversation with P. Mars. I had binge watched like the first 2 seasons of Hannibal, and then I did a live stream, and it was my first time talking to P. Mars, and I just went and I actually used my icon for the stream was the Wendigo from the show.
Yeah.
And the black figure with the antlers. Yeah, and so I was kind of doing that with P. Mars. That's gonna do. That's really bad psychoanalysis.
Yeah, Andrew. Well, I guess we could. Yeah, we'll do a show about Maddox. I think he'd like that.
But we better do it within the first 25 minutes.
I gotta leave and come back in, guys.
Yeah, Andrew, I forgot which video it is, so please just text me the link and we'll take a look at it, and maybe I'll get you some bookmarks. But yeah, we should do a show on Maddox. What do you think? Should we do a show on Maddox?
Yeah, when's the last time we talked about him?
I don't know.
I'm
not sure.
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know. What is that Carly Simon song?
You're so vain.
Yeah.
I bet you think the song is about me.
Bet you think this dream is about me, about you, or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
about you. Sorry.
I'm really tired today. I was like up all night watching fucking that goddamn series Money Heist. I don't know why that thing is so addictive.
Yeah, when I get addicted to a series, it's just a bad thing.
It is a bad, and there's 6 seasons, and I'm on season 2 yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just dying to end this, to shoot this thing in the head so I can get back to it. I don't know.
You know, when you are addicted to a TV series, there's that feeling of joy you get you get that rush of dopamine or whatever, and then when the binge is over,
yeah,
a period of depression, like nothing will ever replace this, and then a few minutes later you found another thing to binge.
Right.
Speaking of TV shows, yeah, I had to leave. Everybody was coming in robot. Something happened to it was on my end. It wasn't on your end, Pete. So I had to leave and come back in. I find that happens after I'm on these for about 20 minutes on my phone. Everything goes robot, or 15 minutes or whatever. But anyway, have you guys heard of the show Squid Game?
I've not gotten a look at it.
It's on my list, and I was thinking about how is it?
It's good. And if you like that one, then there's another one on, because I was talking to Nicola about this. There's one called Alice in Borderland. That one's pretty good too.
Really? Alice in Borderland. Is that new?
It's 2020. Yeah. So Squid Game is Korean, and then Alice in Borderland is Japanese.
Japanese. Okay. Oh hell, I've checked that out.
So you'll be. I don't know if they have dubbed versions or not, but I know that. But I don't like to watch them dubbed. So I watch them with subtitles. So.
Well, I was just noticing what Money Heist is in Spanish, right? So I have the English dubbing, and then I have subtitles on, and the subtitles don't match the dubbing. And for the first few months that Netflix was pulling that shit, and they started pulling it about a year ago, I think. Where, you know what I mean? Where the dub does not match the English dialect, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At first, it aggravated the hell out of me, and I had to turn off the English and just listen to the language and watch subtitles. But now I noticed that what I'm doing is I'm reading the subtitles and I'm listening to them talk, and I'm putting the two together, and I'm coming up with more nuance in the statement than I would have with just one.
Well, wait a minute. But are you watching the English dub version with closed captioning on? Because sometimes the closed captioning will be different than if you watch it in English.
All the time on Netflix, constantly, almost every one of them. They'll say "fuck" on one, and they'll use some. Yeah,
I noticed that. Yeah, because my father, my wife, technically my wife's stepdad, he would watch when they were staying with us. He his hearing going, so he was watching a lot of stuff with the closed captioning on it, and it was different than.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you have a chance, watch it in the English dubbed, and then watch the subtitles. Then go to the Spanish one, or with closed captioning on. Then go to the Spanish one. Go to the same part, and then have the subtitles on, and see if it matches with the closed captioning. Because they're finding that even the subtitles, the closed captioning doesn't even match the subtitles.
Right.
So,
but anyway, it started working for me. My brain has adjusted to it, so that I get both streams of input, and I merge them together, and I derive more meaning out of the sentence than I would. And it's the oddest thing. Like, the other thing I notice is that, like, I use closed captioning all the time because I have a audio disease that I think about 5% of Americans have, if not more, and that I can't. Like, you know, when Danny's on and he produces one of his syllogisms and he says it real fast, I can't process that kind of audio input at all. I can't hear it. My mind just shuts off. It goes to, I'll hear the first few words and then it starts humming. And so I have to see it written. And I had this learning defect when I was a little kid where I couldn't listen in school at all. I couldn't hear what the teacher was saying. And my mom and dad, they would yell at me and give me orders, and I could never understand what they were saying because it's a form of ADHD. And
when I get home, I'll ask, if you don't mind. I mean, you're putting this out there publicly now, but I'll ask my wife because she works with speech paths and stuff like that. She might know exactly what that's called.
Yeah,
spend time Googling it, whatever, but it'd probably be faster for me to just ask my wife.
People refer to it as skipping, you know, like the audio skips. It's like a skip, like you're listening to it and then you miss, like you tune out for like 3 or 4 words, and then you can't put it, and then you can't catch up because you keep trying to go back and process it and you can't catch up. So if you see it written at the same time that you hear it, it's crystal clear. It's just perfect. So.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with hearing because I had it when I was a little kid. I've had it all my life.
You should try that. Maybe you would. I've been doing this sometimes with, like, if I'm reading something that's like a history book that I'm interested in, but I want to be more engaged than just reading it on its own. I will get the Audible.
Yeah,
as long as the Audible is unabridged and matches the book, because sometimes you get that issue.
Right.
But I will read the book while listening to the Audible, and that way that way you're getting both senses working at the same time.
Yeah, and you get a hell of a lot more nuance out of the. You extract more information that way. Yeah. I took a TOVA test for ADHD, and I scored like in the highest bracket. And I did it when I was 40, and all my life I'd had trouble, you know, with various things, particularly when I was growing up and going to school. And when I took that test and they told me that I had this thing that would explain why I had trouble, I actually broke down and cried because it was just like, fuck, why the fuck didn't you tell me this 40 years ago? You know,
well, they may not have had a good understanding of it 40 years ago.
I don't think they did. Yeah. But I used to compensate. I'd go to the library and I'd get a whole bunch of books about the subject, and I would compensate by reading, you know, multiple inputs at the same time. And then I could follow everything along. But
it's kind of like, it's kind of like autism. There's actually an article on the Smithsonian website. I could find it, but it's a doctor that took detail during Civil War era, 1860s. I think around the 1860s or whatever. He took very detailed notes of children, patients that he treated, and some of his records, his notes indicate people who it looks like had autism back then.
Yeah.
What did he diagnose them as?
I can't remember. It was something. It was something that he had been seeing. So I don't even think the doctor had a term for it or anything. It was a behavioral issue that he had noticed in some of his patients, but they didn't understand it.
Yeah,
that's really wild.
But because his notes were so Yeah, his notes were so well documented. He took such meticulous notes that other doctors have looked over and said, "Yeah, I think this guy's actually looking at actual cases of autism here."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot better at diagnosing that in the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And the variations in it, that sort of thing.
But it kind of puts that on it kind of makes the anti-vaxxers who think that, vaccines make kids autistic.
Right.
It kind of throws that on its head a little bit.
That's when yep. Damn it. Oh, day after tomorrow, I have superpowers with my booster shot. That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from my booster. So,
hey, Jay, look in the private chat and see if this is the article. Send.
Okay. Shall I put that in the description? Oh yeah, the early history of autism.
I'm sure.
Yep. That's the one.
That's the article. Okay, I'm going to love to read that.
Okay.
Well, this was Billy was well-dressed man from Boston. Yep, and it goes into Asperger's and stuff. Yeah, that's the article. I believe that's the one. Yep.
I will put it in the description. Can we shoot it in the head, guys?
Sure. I got some.
Sir.
That'd be good because I got something to ask you when we're off the air, Speed. Nothing bad.
Ooh.
Just curiosity that I don't want to blurt out there to anyone else.
You're not my type.
Really?
Better get a tissue, Jay.
I'm sorry. Did I say that live?
No thanks. I jerked off when I was at home, guys.
Oh, okay. All right.
We need to, okay. Oh shit! I forgot to end the show. Damn it. Okay. Okay. Ending the show. We're gonna shoot it in the head.
Bye, folks.
And,
no, I don't jerk off at home. That's a lie.
Wait a minute. Can we all have a shout out to John Maddox because you know how important it is that we talk about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, John.
Goodbye, John.
We really
Bye,
do.
John.
We really do love you.
We do love you.
Speak for you.